Hi, it's me, Alex, the stay-at-home reader. Today's Monday, March something, 7th? 7th. I thought what I do today, because Mondays pretty typically we just stay home. I thought we'd do a day in the life so you can see how boring everything is. I don't know. Just a typical day with some homeschool. Freeze frame to add that my friend Tiffany on her channel, The Life Family Created, also has a day in the life of a homeschool family video. So if this is your thing, check that one out too. I'll have it linked below. Actually, we're already off to a pretty productive start in that the kids have written a sentence on a Monday morning. Usually Mondays are like recovery from the weekend and we're lazy and we don't do anything until like the afternoon. We do afternoon school, which is just some light stuff. But Owen has what, 3 things he wants to do today? What are they?
Math, spelling, and writing. That's
bullshit, because before the camera went on, the 3 things he wanted to do was stay in bed, watch TV, and play video games. And what was the 3rd thing?
Play games.
Play games.
That's the subject you want to do.
He was trying to put on a good boy face for YouTube. But, so we're getting to work earlier than we typically do on a Monday so that he can get to those other things that he wants to do. So we're starting with history. Not my favorite subject, although I like it a lot more now, relearning it to teach them. There's 2 of them. Than I did learning it in school. A lot of it has to do with learning history correctly. So yeah, we're gonna do that now. I wing stuff as I go. I just printed off some Teachers Pay Teachers printables to go along with this book that I planned on reading to them to start our unit on the American Revolution. Let's go. Already a change of plans. I just opened up their history binders that I had made a bunch of printables to go with our French and Indian War text we were using, and I had printed these worksheets off of like a Google search, and we forgot to do them. Just a quick like fill in the blank wrap up of what we read about the French and Indian War before we move on to the American Revolution. So yeah, I should really plan things out better.
2 hours later.
History is done. We ended up wrapping up the French and Indian War. We'll start George versus George, whatever it's called, tomorrow. We read the heart, our circulatory system. That's going to count for our science for the day. And then I have a grade 4 and a grade 5 writing skills notebook that I bought for them. I think we should be able to get through this fairly quickly by like the end of this school year. So they each had a proofreading page to do. So I went through it with them. We looked out for spelling and punctuation errors. So that's the first half of our school day done, those 3 subjects. We did this one. Oliver had actually picked this up on our last library trip for himself, and then he was like, oh, we could do that today together, so we did. I am kind of hitting a wall with our science curriculum. We're using Sassafras Adventures, or I don't remember. It's, I think, supposed to be like a Charlotte Mason style, like living books, fun story, and then they're getting like science facts in it. My problem is that the writing is terrible. The story is stupid. It's like ridiculous. I think it's supposed to be outrageous, to be fun. I don't know. And I think my kids do like the story. But my problem is then, like, there are better stories to read if that's all we're reading it for. And then the science itself is pretty weak sauce. But I mean, it's better than nothing, right? So I don't know. We're kind of at a point where we need to decide how we're going to use it. Are we just going to use the lap booking that goes with it and supplement our own sources? Or just continue through, because why not? Yeah, so they're taking a break now. It's about 11:30. They'll take a break through lunch. And then after, like, they're supposed to be playing a game. I don't know what the hell they're doing. They're just being loud. And then we'll have lunch, do math, and some writing. Maybe pick a new read aloud? I don't know. We'll see. I should probably be doing dishes while the kids are on their break. No. Instead, I'm gonna make myself some instant coffee. Maybe watch YouTube. Maybe read a little bit. I started Commonwealth by Ann Patchett. And by started, I mean I read like 3 pages, and then the kids wanted to play a game last night, so the 4 of us played Disney Villainous. Oliver just bought the most recent expansion pack, so it looks like that's what they've decided to do on their pre-lunch break. Looks like Owen has some cleaning up to do. Laundry to put away. It's not a short game, so I hope they're aware that they're probably not gonna finish it before we get to lunch and back to school.
I know.
He knows. Okay. So yeah, we played that last night, so I only got a few pages read of this. This copy I pulled out of a Little Free Library a while ago, and it's all ripped. I'm not having a good time holding it. And I usually don't mind deckled edges in books, but for whatever reason, I cannot turn the pages in this one at all. And I think it's just the overall condition of the book being so shitty. So I might decide to do that one on audio and choose a different book to read. We'll see what happens. So yeah, I'm thinking I might sit down and do coffee, book, and then once I'm done with my coffee, make the kids lunch, and then I'll do like washing up while they eat their lunch before we get back to our math lesson. I finished this yesterday, A Face for Picasso. I pretty much listened to most of it. I started it in New Hampshire and I hadn't brought the library book with me, so I started it on audio, on Scribd. The author, Ariel Henry, narrates it herself. A Face for Picasso by Ariel Henry, highly recommend. It's a YA memoir, but it's readable as an adult, absolutely. Excellent writing, excellent narration by the author. Does a great job connecting you to her emotional as well as physical trauma as a result of multiple surgeries, lifetime of surgeries, to deal with her Cruzon syndrome and facial deformities. And going back to the title, she gives a lot of background information about what a monster Picasso was, what a misogynist he was, and how he used cubism and that breaking down of a face and rearranging it in a really like anti-feminist way. And at various points in her life, you know, reading more about him and learning more about him has played in her kind of like emotional acceptance of herself. Like she really pushed back on his art and ideas. Yeah, it wraps up in a more self-affirming way in terms of his art. That behind me, that is a Picasso-inspired artwork that Oliver made a year or two ago. Yeah. So I almost feel guilty for having that on my walls now, but I kind of love it. I think Oliver did a great job. Owen's making an orange plate for lunch. That's a lot. You gonna finish it? Okay. Daisy will be happy with whatever you don't finish, right?
Especially the bell pepper.
You want a bell pepper, Daisy? You want a bell pepper? We'll steal one from Owen's plate. Alright, I've been left to cuddle the dragon while they actually eat the lunch. And this is the state of their game that will be left for later. Okay. How am I doing with this daily vlog? So each kid had this for math. They picked this themselves before the Lakeshore Learning Store in town closed. We took a trip there at the beginning of the year, and Oliver picked out this pre-algebra workbook, and then Owen was like, yeah, I'll do it too. So they each have a copy. So today was learning commutative, associative, and distributive properties, and that is my handwriting. But it still counts because every problem or every, topic we worked through out loud together. And sometimes the only way to get something done is to offer to do the writing and let the kids work it out verbally. I'll do the writing. Especially something like this that's just kind of introducing a topic. So this we did, I think, last Monday, and then we went away, so we didn't do any more. So we're picking back up. This is just introducing the topic, so I don't mind doing the writing as we talk it out. If they were in school, they would have a teacher writing on a blackboard. And then tomorrow they can write it out themselves. Also, it's late right now. Oh, we had skipped ahead and done some already. It's like 3-ish, and it is late for us to still be on school, to be honest. Our lunch break got away from us, and then we took the dogs for a walk, and so we're usually done by like 2. And so energy is low from the kids. Like, they don't want to still be doing school. So that's where I say, okay, give me the pencil, bring me your book, let's talk it out really quick, get through it, done, done, done. It's over. School is over. Oh, I got a tickle in my nose. Speaking of, Oliver's got some sniffles. I hate it. I hate it. He was sick Saturday night into Sunday, and then took a long nap Sunday afternoon and woke up feeling much better. When we got back from our walk with the dogs today, all of a sudden his nose is just super snotty and gross. So that's another reason his energy is pretty low right now. His mood is low. But that's it for school. That's it. I'm done. Got a good amount of dishes washed. I didn't get to read earlier because, like I said, Nate had called, and so I chatted with him, and then finished my coffee and made lunch. So now, here we go. Now's where it's me time. I fixed it. I taped up the spine. I don't know. That feels more secure as I'm reading. I'm liking it a lot. So my experience with Anne Patchett has been, I listened to The Dutch House. And so I was kind of afraid, like that book wasn't perfect, but I really, really enjoyed it. But I was afraid that the reason I liked it so much was because of the narrator. Right? The audiobook was narrated by Tom Hanks, and he did a great job. So this is a test if I actually like Anne Patchett, regardless of the format. And so far I do. I really like it. I've actually had to remind myself, I'm like 25, 30 pages in, and I've had to like remind myself that this is a woman author, because she's writing a male character, and there are lines that I'm like, ugh, gross, like what an ass. And like, oh, I'm not gonna be able to read this. This is gonna be super problematic for me. And then I'm like, oh, she's making a point here, I think. Like, she's doing this on purpose because this is a woman author. So let's see how this goes. Yeah, dinner's just about done. And Owen is trying to feed his lizard. Didn't seem too interested in eating. Oliver is in bed. I think he's sick. I think he has another little fever. I had tested him. We did the home COVID test, and it was negative the other day. I have no reason to suspect it's COVID, but he's got a little cold. That sucks. Poor baby. All right, that's it. Just gotta get this all cleaned up. And there's some more school books over there. So that's it. Thanks for hanging out with me. Pretty typical Monday, day in the life of a stay-at-home mom, reader, homeschool family. That's us, and I will see you next time. Bye. Hello? What are you doing out here? Sweet potatoes are done.
I don't think this.
Here he goes.